1 second. This music's tremendously from memory. Well, here's the plan, guys. I'm gonna start streaming a little bit more often to work, so I can catch some people that I haven't seen in a while. That's what makes this game really fun. This game becomes really, really fun when you're playing especially. One of my favorite characters. Always. It's Norse, Glenn, I can't say my guy, Surge is my favorite, but dude's strong. He's not that strong. I think there is a treasure in here. That's how you get the first Lysion. don't think anyone should like Lynx. Lynx is a fucking dick. Yeah, it says I want to go. It says I need to go over here. That's what I'm saying. There it is. Okay. Now we can go to the ship. Go to the fucking ship and get a lot of crap. Oh, this shit's This part always gets me lost. There's only like one part that I love Fargo. I hope he's strong, because sometimes they're really fucking weak. Like Norse actually has good damage on him in that. Basically, where it could get at with this is very important to know as a person altogether. Like every time you like review a video game, you always have people. You always end up having basically a woman talk to a guy and say, "Why do you live in the past? Why don't you express your true feelings? Why don't you talk to me? What's really going on in your mind?" A lot of men tend to hold, being a man myself, a lot of men tend to hold stuff back. I've done it so many times before, tend to hold actual feelings back to make them feel good. Where we suppress ourselves, and that's why we do silly things, as in like we play around a lot, or we get touchy sometimes. You know, we want to release this frustration. Because it happened at work the other day. One of the girls there, it was, you know, we were closing. And, you know, she came into the back of that, and I gave her, you know, I asked for a hug. She gave me a little side hug and that, and, you know, I started playing around with her. Not anything bad, but like, you know, I gave her a bigger hug and that, and like, it's not because I was excited or horny or anything like that. It was to show like what I'm talking about. It just showed the excitement that I had for someone that basically more or less understood me that I understand her. And people have to go through with that their whole entire life. When you see something, say like her, for instance, she's a very pretty girl in that. She had a complicated life, just like I did. You know, and she's talked about it a little bit here and there. And with that personality grows a relationship when you can connect the two. Because that's what it's all about. And so when people sit there and they struggle with their lives and that, and this is my problem. I don't think anyone likes me. I don't think anyone likes me because I'm different than most people. I talk different, I act different, but when I start acting or start being part of the way the culture is, it tends to break that, and then people end up seeing me as someone like, oh, you're pleasant, you dance, you sing, you do all these things, you you got good jokes, and stuff like that. And that's normally what it is. But when I start talking about serious things, that's when people tend to be like, "Oh, you think you're too smart. You think you know too much." Like, no, knowledge is power. Whatever knowledge I can get from people, even though how much it might hurt sometimes to go against what I believe or what I know, if it makes sense, it has to make sense. And if they say it has to make sense in your mind, you see it, then it has to be true to a certain extent, right? So, you know, it was nice that I did that I did. I felt happy, I felt that I was engaged. I felt that, that this person has, some sort of emotional connection with me. It made me feel good because the bulk of my life, I never had, I guess, a lot of love. I never had a girlfriend, never had someone in my bed I can see over and over again, or even have someone come over just to see me. They don't really have that much. I did, but I didn't. I never had a full blown you know, text me. It's been so long. And text you like, oh my god, how you doing, baby? Have affection for me. Because I always want to have affection for other people. And when I try affection for other people, normally it tends for them to like me. But the biggest thing is, a lot of them have relationships, so they can't fulfill that full thing. So it's just me giving out emotional love and making them feel slightly better about themselves if it helps them with their own reality, with their own culture, with their own way of living. And that's always one of the biggest things. So every time you look at anything, that's why I tell everybody, every time you look at everything, be a little bit more observant. Look at the little pieces. Don't look just the big picture. Big picture is good to look at. But if you can't find the pieces of the puzzle to make that big picture the right way, guess what happens? It ends up being a faulty, ugly picture. It makes you distort your own reality. And I promise you, people do. There's this one girl I talk to every now and again. Actually, I talk to her quite a bit when she's working. And we had a conversation about, culture, basically. And we're talking about two different cultures. We're two different people. We were raised differently in that. As we talk about our cultures and that. But the biggest thing that I keep seeing, and I see it a lot, is that unable to listen, unable to understand someone else's point of view. And people that are very heavy on their culture, very heavy on their point of view, tend to say they're listening. But to listen is to have a conversation. To have a conversation, it's not just one person talking. And they repeat it like a spin wheel. They repeat the same thing. They want you to indoctrinate what they're saying. You say it once, that's it. And the way they talk, the way people talk. This is almost everybody. I tend to ask questions. And I ask questions about certain things. And people tend to, they want to listen, but they want to well, you're talking too much. That's because you're not understanding. It's not a conversation. It's a dominacy. You're dominating the conversation 100%. You're dominating it. You want me to listen to you, make me understand everything, and then you want to say selective words, which people do. Say selective words that's going to stop me from talking because you don't want to hear my point of view, which my point of view is everything in between, because that's how I made myself to be. It's like, when people look at women, a lot of people look at women different than I do. When people look at men, a lot of people look at men different than I do. Or when they look at different cultures, like different races, which is, to me, different cultures. The color doesn't matter, different cultures. The way we were raised, the way we were, made up to be from childhood to adulthood. I understand all that shit. I understand all of it because I see the point of views. All you do is watch the fucking news. You watch the news, you can pinpoint certain things that are fake and that are real. And then you can put them together and you can kind of see how it could be. Everything's in percentages. So 1% people do this, 1% people do that, 1% people do this, 50% people do that. It's all percentages all over the place. And people tend to mix it all together and say it's 100% this, 100% that. You can't have 100% everything. Mathematically, doesn't make sense. Logically, doesn't make sense. You're ruining the whole purpose. Hold on. I'll be right back. The water for the old throat. Oh. Okay, back. Anyway, this is why I like playing games. It sparks a conversation with things that happen with me. And potentially people will probably end up agreeing with it because it does make sense. But like I was saying before, when it comes down to certain things, especially with people with different cultures, people tend to, they do it quite a bit, throw their way around to think that they're right. But if they actually knew the actual truth, they probably think that they're partially right, and that they're still not looking at from the deep perspectives. So that's basically how I think about it. And it's hard to see that people tend to struggle with this like I did. Now I see it. Like there's one girl at work and that I talked to her about her life and that. Me and her talked and that, and I told her, the best thing to do is to not care what people think about you. That's it. And how you do that, you admire yourself more. You admire the things you already have. If you're good looking and people attract you very easily, then what you do is you embrace that. You embrace what you already have. And yes, people will strike you down. All you have to do is laugh in their face. And a lot of times they stop. I'm learning a lot from working where I work at. Maybe because of the people I am working with. So one of the guys I'm working at, we're starting to get closer now. He's starting, ask me questions that he asked me. He's trying to pin up man to man. I don't know why they do this. I don't know why some men do this, but I guess it's how they are. Like, who's a better man? Like, it doesn't matter because we're all individually different. So, this guy, pretty cool guy. He works rather hard. He takes responsibility over his job, just like most people do at the work. Some of them slack off a little bit more than others, obviously. I can't say he's one of them. He likes the attention and affection of people. So, every time I work with him, there's always something he asks me. He asks me questions about certain things. He's the guy that I arm wrestled. And finally he came out. He talked about it. Because he talked about, he's trying to push man stuff on me, saying now he's talking about fighting me, but he's doing it in a way to like question it. Because he wants to see where I'm at. I'm like, why do you always want to poke at a beast? That's one of the things I would say. Why do you want to poke at something that could turn out to be bad? Most modest people, quiet people, people that laugh only when they need to. They're not always joking around. They take things seriously when they need to. Infighting's one of them. I take it very seriously because I hate when people think it's a plaything. No, fighting is meant to destroy something. I'm meant to destroy another human because of the actions that they take towards me. Self-defense. It's not playing fucking games when you get hit in the fucking face and knock out some teeth. That's not how it works. You cannot do that. It's not a fucking game. Oh, you want to test strength in that? Tell me how much you lift. I'll tell you how much I lift. You can test the strength out. Can you do the things that I can do? Can you pick up this heavy ass trash can? Can you do this and do that? That's the problem. This person sees the strength attributes that I have from doing strongman stuff and carrying big kegs and lifting weights for the last year or so. I built up a good amount of strength. I can't say I've gained a lot of muscle, but I've gotten a lot stronger than I ever been. And so he sees that because he finally called it out. He called it out. He's like, he talked about we arm wrestled that. And people ask, who won? He had to say it. First time he didn't say it. But then the reality started kicking in that he had to admit to it. Because they see the feats of strength. I'm not bragging. I'm just looking at this scenario that happened with me. You see the feats of strength, so now you can't lie about it. That's how you stop a lie. Because everyone else was saying, I've seen him pick up ridiculous heavy shit. And you're saying that that something happened. And he came out with it, which I was very happy that he did. He came out with it in a way that he brought up other things and say, well, it's because you did this doesn't mean you can't do that. And I just start laughing. I'm like, I don't know what more to prove. There's nothing to prove. I'm not trying to make you fucking like me, dude. You either like me or you don't like me. I'm not here to be everyone's fucking friend. I don't know anything about you guys. You guys coalesce together without me. And you want me to call you friends. That's exactly what happens. They all group up together and they all watch stuff together. They all talk to each other a hell of a lot more. And yes, they're starting to mutually talk with me a little bit here and there. And I get it. It takes time. But you're still leaving my ass out. I'll be sitting in the back and you all will coalesce in the front. You'll talk about me. Yes. But you don't know how to talk to me. Still don't. You call out my name now, which they do, which makes me happy. I like that someone fucking notices me. That's how it always is. But I don't beg for the attention. I'm like, hey, me. You know, raise your hand. Oh, me. No, I don't care about that shit anymore. But when it comes down to it, I still like attention and affection just like everybody else. I don't see that I get it a lot. I get it in very weird ways. Like one of the girls at work, I've noticed a slight change the way she's acting towards me. Other than really deeply staring at me a lot, which is, you know, something's on her mind, but I don't know what it is. Or do I? So, she's close to one of the people that I work with. And nothing bad about anybody there. I can't say anyone's really bad there. Them girls deal with a lot of crap in that. And I try to comfort them because that's how I am. So if I come up to them that, you know,
I'm starting to get easy going with them. Some girls are a little bit different than others. Some girls don't want to be get too close to because they kind of have this hard shell exterior, and they try to play tough, but they're actually very sweet and sensitive, and so forth. So as this other girl has changed the way she like, I guess, thinks about me, which is telling me that people are talking about me, that they're talking about me in whatever way they are. Because for this girl to change the way she thinks about me, like the way she acts towards me, she's getting slightly more friendlier with me, and I don't even talk to her at all, which means other people are. Which means that someone else is talking about me from the cook side, which is one of the guys there, is talking about me when I'm not there, and they're seeing with their own eyes what's happening, and they're relating to what he's saying, and they're finding out that he's probably lying, that he's probably not saying the truth. I'm 100% sure this is probably what it is, because I don't see these little reactions happening without something starting the damn lawnmower. You don't have gas on the lawnmower, you can't fucking start it. In this situation, it's a conversation. The conversation is the gas, and when the conversation flows, that's when you pull the damn string, and it flows, and as it flows, it starts the engine, which it starts the conversations with everybody else. All of a sudden, it ricochets. Everyone's talking. They consolidate in a group. They all talk and that they all want to get closer to each other. And then all of a sudden they talk about that and they're all like, that doesn't make sense. And that I never see him do that. Never see him do this. Never see him do this. I never see him talk like this. I never see him do this. Never see. They start correlating together. And this is how you get, a conflict of interest. Conflict of interest? Possibly it's probably me. I see it like that because I don't talk to anyone that much. But I'm starting to see a slight change in how the vibes are in the place. People are slowly getting closer to me, and I don't even talk to them. They're slowly getting comfortable to me. Because at first, that girl thought I was weird. Like, what the? I don't know you well enough to think anything of you, which I don't. And that's normally what it is. So now that this person suddenly shifts, maybe she thinks something of me that she's attracted to. Maybe when one of the girls, which happened, I was in the break room. It was before we were leaving. I changed my shirt. I took off my old, dirty ass fucking shirt, and I kind of put on a somewhat cleaner shirt. I air it out and that because it's been in my book bag and that. So I air out my shirt, to get, whatever moisture it could be on my shirt, from sitting in my damn book bag and that. Because I might be sweating a little bit, so I tend to take it off. But it's still cleaner than the shirt that I had because the shirt's filled with like oil and flour and all that crap. And one of the girls saw me. She was getting something, whatever they get out. They have like a little vending machine in the break room for these girls and that they can get out certain things. And I didn't even notice her. All of a sudden, I turned around. She was just staring at me. Staring at me. I guess admiring me. I don't know. She was just looking at me. It was very obviously. Because when I talked to her, she kind of got thumbstruck. Like, I'm like, oh, sorry. And she kind of just looked at me. She's like, oh, it's okay. And then I said, it's like, you never saw me with my hair down, because I have long ass hair. It's really hard to tell because I wear my little cap. I put it on, a lot of it covers it up. So you never really see how long it is. And obviously I said that because it had nothing to do with that. I had to do with that because she saw me without my shirt. She saw how big I am, how big my muscles are, or whatever the fuck that it is. It interests people. And then all of a sudden the next day, which I already know, she talked about it, and all of a sudden everybody else, all the girls there, started looking at me completely different. They started like admiring me without actually noticing anything. As in, like, I didn't do anything in front of them, but they noticed it because of someone like the conversation.
That's basically what it is. The conversation came up. This is where it becomes to be very careful. People like gossip. People like attention. So say like they don't see the way I react to people. My true self is a lot different than what they think. This is why I tell a lot of people that. I said it yesterday. Like what I do out, what I'm doing when I'm completely off work and that, and how I talk is a lot different than when I'm at work. So as we're closing and all the customers leaving, I tend to like to act like myself. I'll be singing, I'll be dancing, I'll be doing really just fucking having fun in that. I can't do that during work, especially when there's a lot of guys that I don't actually care for too much attention on one person. Sometimes I do, depending on who's there. And that's kind of one of the things. Okay, I got a little bit of time left. Oh. I gotta take a fucking shower. Need some more food. But yeah, it was just very interesting to like sit there and see all this stuff. That feels good. Air out. But well, honestly, this is how it always will be. I'm starting to see it more and more, and I'm starting to get more comfortable with what's going on. Because I always try to put up against me. There's two guys at work that seem to do that quite a bit. What they call it, try to size me up. Just try to figure me out without actually figuring me out. So they're asking a lot of questions. Like one of them asked, what's your fighting stance? And I said I have multiple fighting stances, which I do. I tend to do different fighting stances because it's for different occasions. Not say I perfected all of them, but it doesn't mean I don't know how to do them. And I said, what is this even going to do? How was this even going to show? Is this going to show anything? Or are you sitting there just doing this stuff to try to say you could beat me in something? Why does it matter? Why does it matter at all? It doesn't matter at all. It's just people trying to assume something that they're better than someone else, so that asks the questions, like, oh yeah, this and that, and then make a bunch of crap. Because he like scaled it. He says, who will win in a fight, me or you? I want you to give me like a thing from 1 to 10. Is this a mental game? Like, how the fuck would a scale show anything? So I told him, like, you wouldn't even be on a scale. It'd be negative because I know you're not going to win. Why would you keep on doing this? I want to see. I'm like, I only fight people that threaten me. I'm not going to fight someone for a fucking game. Like I said before. So I tend to, like, I laughed at him. I guess I moralized him a little bit. And I'm like, dude, I don't care. Stop asking me stupid fucking questions. I don't care. We're here to work and talk about how good looking the girls are here. For God's sakes, you're working with girls with fucking super tight ass fucking shorts on, show their ass cheeks. Can't we just enjoy it without saying, oh, my dick's bigger than yours? I don't care. You haven't had sex with anyone lately, at least not around here, so I don't care.
always the biggest thing I hate. Men sized up other men. Women sized up. I'm not here to attract to you. I'm here to attract to them. If I'm here to attract to you, then I guess I'm gay, but I'm not. I don't see why men always do this attraction thing towards each other. They're like, is it, well, it's not gay. Like, yeah, evidently you got gay intentions because you keep on wanting to attract to me and talk about how good looking I am. Talk about that. I got big muscles and that. I mean, you could say it, but it's like, you keep on bringing up shit like that. It doesn't make any sense to me. Time for a protein shake. Yeah, I gotta get my clothes in the laundry. I got a little bit of time left. Yeah, I'm not gonna be playing. This is gonna be more or less like a just talks. I tend to like do just talks a little bit more because I think it's a little bit more exciting to hear my story, to hear what I have to talk about. That I noticed they get pretty decent views for the most part. Who doesn't like hearing about someone else's work, especially all the fun things that happen at it. But it's getting better. It's just taking time. Just like anything else, it always takes too much time, and I don't have time to be sitting there and pill dicking around. Either ask the damn question, I'll give you an answer. You know, don't sit there and stare at me. Don't talk. Don't sit there and not talk to me when I'm talking to you. Not. There's a lot of girls there do that shit. Maybe they admire me because I'm attractive looking, which is probably the truth. So one of the new girls there, I got a little close to in the last couple of times I saw her. Not, I talked to her every conversation with her. She talks back to me. I like her quite a bit. She's a sweetheart. She's very beautiful and that. But like, I told him like you're the only one that actually really has conversations with me, and that maybe because we're both so new, which is true. I've been working there only for a couple months. I think she started a couple weeks ago. But no, we only worked there for not that long. A lot of other people working there for several months more than me, so they all come to the conclusions of each other. And some people are culturally connected a little bit more than I am. I'm not culturally connected to a lot of people. Not at all. Not many people at all. If I do talk about things that people understand, that they go through that, they always have a weird way of like changing it up. There's always something that makes them tick. And it is what it is. People always want to say, you gotta understand me. I'm like, I'm trying to understand you. That's why I ask questions. Questions are meant to be answered, not throwing around another question. You answer the questions. And that's what I tend to do. So, as this event happens, which is going to happen, ain't no different than me working at White Castles, which some of you guys know where I worked at before. A lot of the crap that happened there, which was complete crap, and some of it was pretty good in that. This is a whole new beast. Because there's more people. A lot of times I don't see the same people over and over again. Like there's one girl that came in, she just started working overnights. And I guess when she came, because I overheard, one of the guys said, "Oh, welcome to overnights." So I guess she's working overnights now. And she's she's a very, very beautiful girl. That she's got a big old butt on her. She's got, the boobs and all that stuff, and that she's, she's very attractive looking in that. Cute little smile and all that stuff and that. And one of the guys there, which I honestly can call a friend. I see him as a close friend. I normally size people up and trust in that, because I know people do talk about certain things. But, the way that he talks and that, how he acts and that, he seems to be more free-spirited than some people there. Because he dances and sings like I do and that, so I can see something I can approach with him. And he asks me a question. He asked me about my skin and that, which I like. I like when people ask stuff about stuff. That's what I do. I ask people about stuff. Some people are scared of it. And, like, if it is what it is, then it is. Because this person did state it. This person did state it. He says, I want to ask you a sensitive question. And I'm like, okay, like, what's sensitive? I'll tell you my fucking penis size. I really don't care. It is, I am who I am. Sometimes it might be this long, sometimes it might be that long. It depends on the excitement. Just like anything else. And he asked me about my skin. I told him, I have eczema and that. I had it for the last, decade or so and that. I just have it. It comes and goes with stress and that. It comes and goes with how much nutrients I have in my body and that. Sometimes it's worse than others. Sometimes it's best. But I admit I contain a lot of emotions that I don't like to express myself. So when I do express myself, I feel better. But the only biggest thing is, I don't like when I feel that someone has a hatred towards me that doesn't ask me any questions about who I am. They only see how I act, and when I act in a certain way, other people might question that, and they might distort it even a little bit, and then make it look like it's worse than what it is, or better than what it is. But I notice a lot of people there see me for who I am, and see me for what I am, for the most part, and they weed out all the other people that say certain things. That's where I'm getting at. Oh man, I hate morning time, or when I wake up. Well, anyway, I gotta get going. I'm a very talkative man. I finally got my G Fuel. Bahama Mama. Bahama Mama's great. Very good. Anyway, I'm gonna ask to get off. I gotta take a shower. And I'll see you guys when I see you when I get home. I'll see if I stream when I get home. I'm off Wednesday and Thursday again, so I'll probably do a lot of streaming. My days off, I will be playing Resident Evil 2. I'll be switching off and on, but I will be doing Resident Evil 2. I think I'll try and beat it with Leon on hardcore, maybe. I'm going to try to beat it with Claire with hardcore. We'll see how it is. We'll see how good it goes. I think Claire's going to be a whole lot easier. We'll see. You guys have a good one. Bye-bye.